so let's talk about this viral video. Have you all seen it? It's a fight between a passenger and a United Airlines employee that happened at Newark Airport in New Jersey. Now, a warning to our viewers, this video is a little disturbing. In the video, you can see the employee and the passenger square up and trade blows. The airport worker ends up falling behind the counter. As you can see, has trouble getting up. The United employee has reportedly been fired. The passenger is former Denver Broncos player Brendan Langley. He was arrested and charged with simple assault, even though he claims he did not throw the first punch. Just really quickly, a little bit more context that we're finding out, and this is just reported, that the verbal altercation, we still don't know who started the physical altercation, but what started the verbal altercation was allegedly the passenger wanted to use, or did use rather, a wheelchair to haul around his luggage. The employee came up and said, you need to go buy a trolley to do that, one of the luggage trolleys, and then the altercation took place. What are you thinking?
I'm just going to put a little bit more context to this as well. In the Calgary airport, you don't actually have to pay for the little wheelie cart for the $5. That does not excuse
for Canada.
He plays for Calgary Stampeders.
Right. Yeah. I'm not trying to like give fault blame anything. I'm just simply saying that that is something that is a thing, and I was very confused on the other side. So I don't know if he was just confused by the fact that he had to pay. Okay, go ahead, Tori.
You go. I don't know. I've said it before here. It just feels like little fissures, little cracks sort of in our society where we all had agreed to sort of not throw punches like the Wild Wild West.
I don't remember that agreement.
No, about 3 or 4 years.
Have you seen YouTube?
I know, but about 3 or 4 years ago, I'm talking pre-pandemic, you didn't see this onslaught of violence all the time.
I don't know about that.
Really? You think people now, like, punching people in the airport seems very post-pandemic, angry. I'm pent up and I've spent the last 2 years in quarantine and I don't know how to act in public.
Or are cameras just more around?
I wonder, is the violence new or are the cameras new? But we've had cameras for a while now and we're just seeing an uptick in sort of general customer relations.
Well, the uptick is probably coming because people now understand how to pull their camera out. Like before, you would just stand there and watch it with your eyeballs. Now you're like, oh no, I have documentation, you know? I think that's just what it is.
What do you think about the employee being fired? We still don't know what's going to happen to the passenger who plays for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, they're investigating.
I mean, I think unfortunately he has to lose his job for one reason. He came from behind the counter. Whatever that counter is there for a reason. No matter what the rule book says.
Yeah.
When somebody comes from, if you're having an issue with somebody at the bank, a teller, and they come from outside the glass and now you guys are face to face, things are heightened. And I feel like, especially in a job like that, whether it's their job description or not, almost every fifth person you run into is going to be upset. So you should be trained in de-escalation. And when you step to an agitated passenger, the way you did with your hands at your side, like I've seen a lot of fights in a lot of nightclubs, that's how they start. Walking up to somebody kind of with your fist balled up, and there's going to be an issue.
Well, I do agree that it was a problem that he came around from behind the counter, but I don't think it was the problem and the reason why he got fired. This man, clearly, the man who worked for United, believed that his last name was actually United. I don't understand why employees do this, but that's not your last name. That is not your family airline, and I think that sometimes people take things super personal as if it is, and when he came out, and not only did he strike the passenger, he also egged him on to tell him, let's keep this going.
He had his hands up.
He was ready.
He did, but again, we don't know if that's the beginning of that video.
You don't know.
You don't, but he didn't de-escalate it either.
No, he did not.
But you'll never guess, you guys, you will never guess who weighed in about the airport fight. Alec Baldwin, he commented on Instagram saying, quote, the guy working at the airport is the victim. He came to work to do a job. The other guy with his big mouth is guilty of workplace abuse, where people come to work with an expectation of safety, even civility. This bleep who hit this guy should be put on a no-fly list. Erica, what do you think about Alec's comments?
I know you lying. I know you lying. I know you lying.
Cars went flying early.
Yeah.
Because I know this man who put together this rickety set that caused someone's life, that he was the person holding the gun for, is not talking about some workplace safety. Like, I mean, that is like insult to injury. And I'm just going to talk about toxic work conditions because I'm going to pick up those cards myself.
How dare you, Erica?
I cannot. It's like nobody was even talking about you, Alec. Nobody. That was like, you know, this news cycle 2 weeks ago. And you're going to insert yourself in this conversation knowing good and damn well you are wrong as all get out.
But that's where we are now. People are almost like self-snitching in a way. Like, why would you bring that up?
Because his ego is
when he might have a trial coming up.
Dude.
Why are you talking at all?
Al, that's a narcissist. That's an
abuse.
Sam, that has to be narcissism. Otherwise, you're unaware of it. How ironic is that?
Projection?
I mean, come on.
Wow. Erica told them to shh.
Seriously.